When I say self-worth, what do you think of? It's a feeling of self-assurance, to know that you are worthy, to know that you deserve good things in your life. Well, then the next question comes, so how do we know we have self-worth? And that's where the tricky part comes. In this day and age, there's always a want to have a way of measuring self-worth, sort of like the scientific method, to have proof, some tangible proof that you have self-worth. Something that you want to show another person and say, here, look, I have self-worth. In this world, we always want to have some sort of truth, some sort of binary thing that we can see, how we can prove things, this scientific method of, oh, this, if we see this, you must have this. But for some of us, we know the truth. You can do something and not really feel it. You can do an action and not feel the intention. You have to have self-worth before you can do the actions of self-worth. So what gives you self-worth? It is that feeling inside of you to know that you are worthy of good things. You are worthy of great things, and that there's nothing out of your reach. As soon as you put limitations on yourself, that is not you putting limitations. That is the world. That is the outside putting limitations on you. In this video, I'm going to share with you several examples how people measure their self-worth in this world. Even though your self-worth is not measurable, it comes from within. Are you measuring your self-worth through achievements? Through the achievement of a goal, achievement of a certain skill? Achievements in themselves don't determine your self-worth. Just because you have achieved certain things on this list or achieved a certain number of goals set by your employer or a certain amount of things that other people say you should be doing by now, does not necessarily bring you self-worth. Self-worth comes from within, to know that you are worthy. Those achievements are an outside production of your self-worth. Don't get it twisted. Self-worth comes from within, not from your achievements. Some people see that you could measure self-worth. I'm out there talking to all of us who love numbers. It's like, okay, how can I achieve something? Something that I can actually put a number to it. That I'm an 8 and now I can be a 10. And many times we fall into this trap of the amount of money we make determines our self-worth. Are you any more worthy when you only have $2 in the bank versus $10,000 in the bank? Are you ever more worthy of love and affection if you only have $2 in your pocket? Or are you more worthy of love and affection when you have that American Express Black Card? Think about that. Are you saying that you are more worthy of love based off of the money you have? So, what does that say about your children? They don't have any singular money of their own. Are they less worthy of love? So, why do you think you as an adult, whether you're a young adult in your 20s or whether you are 60, 70 years old, why do you feel that just because of the amount of money you have determines how much love and affection that you are worthy of? You are only worthy of love and affection because you live and breathe. I know sometimes this next way that we sort of measure our self-worth, it's something that is put on to us through our parents, especially those of us that come from immigrant parents or parents that are from a lower background. They say to be a doctor. They want you to be a doctor, and they put that image in your head that you can't be worthy of being part of the family, be part of the community, unless you're a doctor, unless you're a lawyer, unless you have this prestigious career. And for some reason that if you happen to be a garbage man, a electrician, a plumber, somehow that is beneath you. Both jobs are needed everywhere. And to be quite honest, a lot of times those plumber and electrician jobs make more money than the lawyers and doctors. So how do you view your job? Are you putting your self-worth in a job that you don't even like? Are you in that job just because of the prestige that it gives you? And it in turn gives you that self-worth. If you don't feel any real joy from it, but you only like the perks of it, maybe that's not the job for you. Maybe it's time to take a look at the job and see if you're putting your self-worth in your job. Are you working overtime at your job to prove your self-worth? To prove that you have the right to be in that job? See, this comes twofold. Are you taking a job because that job determines your self-worth? And therefore, you have to do well in that job, despite you not having an affinity for it, despite that you don't like it. You work countless hours in that job because it determines your worth. Is your job, are you defining your job as your self-worth? Our childhood experiences, the way we grew up, who we are born to, are not our decisions. Believe me, we did not decide to come into this world. Our parents decided that. Whether they did it consciously or unconsciously, to be quite honest, let's get real now. We didn't ask to be in this world. Therefore, we didn't ask to be in the situations, whether we were rich or poor, whether we were in a happy two-parent household or a dysfunctional two-parent household. We didn't ask to be with a single parent. Then why do we sometimes measure ourselves by how we grew up? That we sort of appeared into, how we were birthed into this world. We had no control over it. So why do we feel that our self-worth is connected to the income, the people, the place that we were born to? You know, as I get older, it's very interesting to see how people have put this marker as a point of pride. There's a difference between pride and making it the very center of your self-worth. Your education. Did you get a high school diploma or a GED? Did you go to college? Did you go to graduate school? Did you get a doctorate? You can be proud of the things that you've done, but that doesn't mean you're more worthy than the next person. Just because someone did more schooling than you doesn't mean they're more worthy. Doesn't mean that they're more worthy of love or respect. And that goes the other way around. Just because someone didn't reach the same educational status as you did, doesn't mean that person that comes into your house to help you with something, whether it's a service like cutting the grass, or someone who comes in, like someone did this week, fix my faucet because it was pouring out water for no good reason. They are worthy of love and respect and care. They aren't some second-hand citizen just because they didn't reach the same educational status as you did. Are you making your education part of your self-worth? This particular way that we may measure our self-worth actually hit really at home for me. I don't know about you, but for me, this was difficult because I realized early on that this is how I defined myself. Partly because it is what my parents taught me. It's what my church and my religious leaders taught me. It was a way in which I was always rewarded. Are you living up to others' expectations for you? Are you doing something just because someone else told you to do it? It's very easy as a child, and as we grow up, we obey our parents. But are we obeying them at the consequence of ourselves? If we are constantly trying to please someone else's expectations of you, then who are you really? That how you appear determines your self-worth. Is it? There is a multi-billion-dollar industry in makeup and a multi-billion-dollar industry in fitness just to convince you that your self-worth is determined by how you look. Are you putting on the makeup, the 5, 10, 15-minute routine because you really like it? Or are you doing that so that someone else sees you as being worthy? Are you doing that so that someone else sees you as being worthy of being talked to? Be honest with yourself. Do you put on the lipstick, the eyeliner, the eyeshadow because you generally like it, or because you want someone else to look at you and say, "Ooh, I really like what you did there"? Your appearance has no correlation between your self-worth. Yes, personal hygiene is important. Believe me, it is. Apart from, the basics, washing, cleaning, and smelling nice. Other than that, nothing else is required. Having those six-pack abs is not required for self-worth. You can have the best self-worth and have a beer belly. You can have the best self-worth and self-love and have no makeup on your face. If you might have noticed, I barely, and when I say barely, you've seen these videos, I barely wear makeup. Because when I do, it's only for me. It's not because I want you to say, ooh, look at her, she looks so pretty. No. It's because I looked at me and I said, hey, I just want to do this. So are you putting on makeup to please other people? Or are you putting on makeup to please yourself? Are you working out at the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week to please other people? Or are you working at the gym to please yourself? I know it's that time. That time when all of the weddings and people hooking up, and it's getting to be a little cooler outside, so people are cozying up to people. Just because of your relationship status does not determine whether you're worthy of love. In fact, being in a relationship does not determine whether you are more or less worthy of love. Are you worthy of love? Yes. If you're single and you're worthy of love, yes. If you're in a relationship and you're worthy of love, yes. But are you getting that love? Are you loving yourself? Is your partner loving you how you need to be loved? And we're not just talking about outward shows of love, the gifts, the trips, but the person that can hold you in your darkest moments, when you are unsure of yourself, when bad things happen, when your true core shakes. Do you still have love for yourself? Do you still feel worthy of being here? And then does your partner support you in that? If you don't have self-worth in yourself, you can't find your self-worth in another. So take a moment and see if you are trying to find your self-worth by looking at it from someone else, that someone else is going to give you self-worth. When in actuality, self-worth comes from within. I might have said a couple times in this video about social media. And here's the thing. This is actually a brand new thing for me. If you look on this channel, you notice I haven't been here that long. But do you determine your self-worth by your social media prominence? By how many people like your videos? How many people subscribe to you? Is that how you measure your self-worth? Is this how you determine how good of a person you are? Yes, Mr. Beast has over 1 million followers on several different channels. Is he any more worthy of love, of affection, of protection than you? You who have maybe just a couple hundred, maybe 50 subscribers, maybe not even 1 subscriber. You're just here to see the videos. Is he more worthy than you? There is no real scale of measuring your self-worth. It's almost a binary thing. You have it or you don't. And you can feel it when you don't have self-worth. And you can feel it when you have self-worth. You are worthy. You are worthy of love, affection, and protection. Remember that. If you like this video, here's another video about my 3 traits of self-love.